You should always stay positive. You should never let yourself believe that you're any worse because you've got a disability. I find climbing exhilarating because it's quite a crazy thing to strap yourself into a harness and go kind of jump off. But climbing is a crazy sport. I mean, it's not for the faint-hearted.
19-year-old Shana Gallagher makes rock climbing look easy. And incredibly, she has just one arm.
She's just living proof that it doesn't matter what obstacles you have to get across. If you're determined to do something, you will.
She started climbing at school aged 10, and by the time she was 16, she was in the Great Britain paraclimbing team, eventually making captain.
The other team members have a big variety of disabilities. So we have people with one leg, other people with one arm, we have someone with brain injuries, we have blind people and someone with a wheelchair bound. I think the highlights for me when I've been competing is the experiences. The first time I ever competed abroad was the first time I'd ever been abroad, and it was without my parents and really far away from home. I was so nervous. It was the biggest competition I'd ever done, but it was such a fantastic experience. And climbing has given me so many opportunities to meet so many people around the world.
I feel really proud and happy for what she's doing. She's really confident and she just seems happy all the time.
When Shana was born, doctors told her mother, Jade, that she might not survive.
Shana had a whole host of complications after she was born. Obviously we found out that she just had one arm, she had no collarbone, she had a twisted spine, she had both feet facing up the wrong way, and then shortly after she was born both her lungs collapsed. A couple of years after that I found out that she had a dislocated knee and a twisted pelvis, which had to result in quite a few years of medical treatments and interventions.
Growing up with only one arm did have some challenges because you'd realise eventually that you weren't quite the same as everyone else, and maybe you'd have a bit of self-doubt that you couldn't do things just because you were a little different.
When she was growing up I refused to wrap her in cotton wool. I knew that one day she would have to be self-sufficient and live on her own. I would only ever step in and help her with things if she was really struggling. It's normal to Shana having one arm as it is to you or I having two.
Never really held me back from doing anything. If anything, I was more determined to get things done and prove myself to people, because as a kid you'd always get other kids that would, you know, be like, she can't do that, or she won't be able to do that like us. And I would often want to prove myself. In that way you'd get a lot of respect from people. In my everyday activities, simple things like spreading butter on bread or toast can get quite difficult because it moves around a lot, especially, you know, if you get really hard butter. It's just something so simple can turn into something like it's just a massive challenge.
Despite being the only one-armed climber competing in Europe, Shana now wants to take her rock climbing career to the next level.
I think she sets a massive example to particularly able-bodied people. There's a lot of people out there who think they can't do things or have a bit of a chip on the shoulder.
My ultimate climbing ambition would be to obviously get first place in the World Championships, and then hopefully if climbing ever did make it part of the Olympics and Paralympics, then it would be to podium on there, and even just compete would be absolutely fantastic.